picture this, right? You're just scrolling through X, and the official account for OpenAI's ChatGPT posts this deeply cryptic image.
Yeah, that dark cinematic one.
Exactly. It's just
Yeah.
a single glowing light resting on what looks like, I mean, the desolate surface of the moon. No caption at all. No explanation.
Right, it's the exact kind of imagery a massive tech company uses when they want to signal, a seismic shift.
Yeah, without actually committing to a single concrete detail. And, well, if you're the kind of listener who joins us here, someone who loves to skip the fluff and get straight to the aha moments, you know that these kinds of teases usually lead to some, like, highly technical developer tool.
Oh, absolutely. Some massive new enterprise feature.
Right. But then Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, replies to this cryptic post, and he doesn't post a press release. He doesn't drop a link to a keynote presentation. He just replies with 3 words, "Call me maybe."
A reference to a Carly Rae Jepsen pop song from 2012.
Yeah, which is...
I mean, 3 words, a pop music joke, and a moon picture.
It seems completely absurd, but until you actually dig into what it means. So today we are tailoring this deep dive specifically for you. We're unpacking an incredible piece by Aaron Rose over at the Tech Reader blog titled, "How AI is About to Fix Your Phone Forever."
And when we say fix, we aren't talking about, a new cloud billing dashboard or some update that makes coders 10% faster.
Right. Oh.
We are talking about a massive, quiet pivot in the actual infrastructure of human communication. I mean, we're talking about the end of the 30-year-old spam call problem.
Which is wild, and that's why this particular development is so fascinating. The stakes here are uniquely universal. Usually a major AI announcement matters a great deal to, well, a very small subset of the population in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, totally. But the phone call, I mean, that touches literally everyone. Aaron Rose's core argument is that this tiny interaction signals the absolute end of the traditional phone carrier monopoly.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because before we get to the shiny new AI solution, we kind of have to look at the absolute mess we are currently living with.
Oh, it's a huge mess.
Right. Because my phone, it feels like a futuristic supercomputer. It translates languages in real time, it renders 3D graphics, it tracks my biometric.
Yeah, it does everything.
But the actual phone app, the part that rings, is acting like an unlocked physical mailbox out on the street with absolutely no spam filter.
That's a great way to put it.
Anyone with a random auto dialer can just shove garbage into it.
Yeah.
And my device loudly demands that I deal with it right then and there. It feels completely disconnected from the rest of our tech.
Well, that is the great paradox of modern mobile technology, right? If you look at the baseline of the phone call experience, it is just fundamentally broken.
Right.
And it has been entirely stagnant for decades.
Yeah.
The actual experience of making and receiving a phone call right now is functionally identical to what it was in 1995. Think about the sequence.
Okay.
The phone rings.
Yep.
You either answer it or you don't. You talk, you hang up, or they leave a message and maybe you call them back.
Right. The exact same loop.
Exactly. We have had 30 years of explosive technological advancement, but that specific loop hasn't evolved at all.
And it's a loop that is almost universally hated at this point. I mean, you don't need to follow the intricate legal dramas of the tech industry or, like, understand token budgets to feel this pain point.
No, not at all.
It requires absolutely zero technical expertise to hate it when a spam call ruins your dinner or, breaks your concentration right when you finally sit down to work.
Yeah, the frustrations are so intimate and common that we barely even register them as technological failures anymore. We just accept them.
We do.
I mean, think about the voicemail experience today. It is excruciating.
Ugh, the worst.
Right. If you miss a call, you often have to dial in, listen to a robotic voice, slowly dictate the date and time.
Which takes forever.
And then sit through a 2-minute rambling message from someone who refuses to get to the point. And often you find yourself replaying that same 2-minute audio file like 3 times just to extract a single string of numbers for a callback.
Oh, and texting isn't much better, by the way.
Oh.
My text threads are just a constant battle of burying genuinely important personal messages under this mountain of promotional junk.
Yeah, the promotional texts are out of control.
I will have a crucial message from my family, and layered right on top of it are 5 automated texts about, like, a mattress sale, a pharmacy refill I definitely don't need, and a political campaign asking for $5.
Right.
It just creates this constant cognitive overload.
And we have completely internalized that friction as the inevitable price of carrying a connected device in our pockets. But the argument here, what Aaron Rose is saying, is that this friction is about to be systematically eliminated. by inserting an intelligence layer between the network and the user.
So if the phone carriers have absolutely zero incentive to fix this broken 1995 loop, the solution has to come from completely outside their ecosystem.
Precisely.
And that is where that call me maybe tweet starts to make sense. Here's where it gets really interesting. Aaron Rose outlines this concept of the AI phone stack.
Yes, the AI phone stack.
Let's break down the mechanics of how this actually works in practice. Because if I have this stack active on my device and an unknown number dials my phone, what actually happens? Walk me through the intercept.
Okay, so imagine that unknown number calls. Instead of your phone vibrating in your pocket and demanding your immediate attention, an AI answers it silently in the background.
Wait, silently?
Yes, but we need to separate this from the technology we are used to. This is not a clunky interactive voice response menu.
The press 1 for this, press 2 for that stuff.
Exactly. It is not that robotic press 1 for sale system that frustrates everyone. It is a genuine conversational artificial intelligence. It answers in a natural, fluid voice and simply asks the caller who they are and what the purpose of the call is.
Wait, let me stop you there. Because having an AI answer my phone and talk to people on my behalf sounds incredible for dealing with a spammer.
Sure.
But what happens if it's, I don't know, my doctor calling with test results? Or my child's school? Is the AI going to accidentally hang up on a medical professional because it thinks it's a robocall?
Well, that is the crucial distinction between older keyword-based systems and modern natural language processing.
Okay, how so?
Older systems just listened for specific words, which made them super rigid and prone to errors. But this new stack understands context and intent. So when the school nurse calls and says, hi, I'm calling about Timmy, he has a fever, the AI processes the semantic meaning of that sentence.
Oh, I see.
It recognizes the urgency and the relationship, but contrast that with how it handles the bots. Because if an extended warranty scammer calls, it's almost always an automated dialer on the other end.
Right, they're just blasting out thousands of calls waiting for a human to pick up.
Exactly. Not only do they wait for a human, but they are programmed for a specific audio trigger.
Like what?
They wait for a brief silence after a hello to launch their pre-recorded script. They are entirely incapable of engaging in a nuanced, unscripted conversation with a gatekeeper who asks them to state their business.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right. So when the AI answers and asks a clarifying question, the bot's programming just breaks. It simply hangs up immediately. The spam is neutralized before your screen ever even lights up.
That is amazing. It's like having an elite, entirely invisible executive assistant whose sole job is to serve as a ruthless bouncer for your attention.
A ruthless bouncer, exactly.
But let's go back to the human caller. Let's say it's the plumber I called earlier in the day. He calls, the AI answers. He says, hey, it's Bob the plumber. I'm running 20 minutes late. What does my phone do?
The AI processes that audio in real time, understands the intent, and then sends you a clean, silent, text-based notification.
So my phone doesn't ring.
Nope. Your phone just buzzes once with a push alert that says, Bob the plumber is on the line. He says he is running 20 minutes late.
And then the power is entirely back in my hands. I
Yeah.
get to look at that screen and make a choice without the social pressure of a ringing phone demanding an answer. I could tap a button to connect the call right then and there and say, no problem, Bob. Or I could, I don't know, tap a button that tells the AI to handle it.
Yes. You could tap a response that prompts your AI to say, thanks, Bob, I'll leave the side gate unlocked for you. And the call ends.
Wow.
The scope of this goes far beyond just answering live calls, though. It fundamentally rehabilitates voicemail and texting, too.
How does it fix voicemail?
Your voicemail inbox essentially ceases to exist in its current audio form. The AI intercepts those missed calls, reads the audio, transcribes it, categorizes it by urgency, and just summarizes it into text.
So a 3-minute rambling voicemail from a contractor just becomes a single bullet point that says the contractor needs to know if you want the matter gloss finished.
Exactly. The junk just vanishes. You never even have to listen to a recording.
That sounds like magic. And texts?
Text messages receive the exact same treatment.
Yeah.
Because the AI is integrated into the device, it reads the threads to understand the context and the relationships between the sender and receiver. It knows that a message from your spouse or your boss is a Tier 1 priority. It cleanly surfaces those, while quietly sweeping the automated promotional blasts from a shoe store into a separate, muted folder.
But wait, we have to address the privacy elephant in the room here. If this AI is reading all my texts to figure out what's important and it's listening to all my voicemails,
Yeah, the privacy aspect.
I mean, that means I am giving a piece of software total access to every private communication I have. That seems like a massive leap of faith.
It is a significant hurdle, for sure, and it requires understanding the difference between cloud processing and local processing.
Okay, break that down for me.
If all of your private calls and texts were being packaged up and sent to a server farm in another state to be analyzed, that would be a privacy nightmare.
Right, totally.
But the underlying technological shift making this possible is on-device processing. The hardware in modern phones has become powerful enough to run these AI models locally.
So it's not sending my data away.
Nope. The intelligence lives on the physical chip inside your pocket. It reads the texts and processes the audio without that data ever leaving your device.
So it's locked down to my specific hardware. That makes sense. And Aaron Rose notes that it isn't just about playing defense against incoming garbage, right?
Yeah.
There is a proactive side to this stack.
There is. If the AI can understand natural language well enough to screen a call, it can also initiate one.
Really? Like it makes calls for me.
Yes. If you need to schedule a haircut or follow up on a basic appointment, you can instruct the AI to handle it. It dials the salon, navigates the mundane back-and-forth conversation with the receptionist about available times, and then just drops a confirmed calendar invite onto your screen.
That is wild. It just handles the administrative chores of daily life.
What's fascinating here is why this is so different from the rest of the AI news we hear every day. Right now, the AI conversation is dominated by concepts that feel completely alien to the average person.
Yeah, a lot of jargon.
You hear people talk about artificial general intelligence, which sounds like terrifying science fiction, or you hear highly specific developer terms. You'll read articles about RAG pipelines.
Which is basically just a way for an AI to fetch outside information from a database to answer
Yeah.
a question, right?
Exactly. Or agentic workflows, where an AI is trained to chain together multiple distinct tasks to solve a complex problem, or MCP servers that connect models to local data.
It's a lot to keep up with.
And those are incredibly important technical leaps. The ability to chain tasks together or fetch live data changes how software is built, but they only matter to a tiny, highly specialized niche of developers right now. To the broader public, that jargon is impenetrable.
But this phone stack is entirely different. Aaron Rose uses some great examples in the article to highlight the universality of this.
He does.
He points out that this technology is for the grandmother living down in Florida who is constantly targeted by incredibly sophisticated scammers. They prey on confusion, and the AI acts as a shield that never gets confused. It is for the mechanic working in a garage in Tulsa who cannot constantly stop what he's doing, wipe grease off his hands, and check if a ringing phone is a paying customer or a robocall.
And it is for the small business owner who is absolutely drowning in 40 robocalls a day, but is terrified of ignoring the phone because missing one legitimate lead could cost them a massive contract.
Exactly. Or the nurse who just finished an exhausting 12-hour shift at the hospital. They are completely wiped out, they just want to check their messages, and they shouldn't have to wade through a swamp of political spam and credit card offers just to see if their family reached out.
When you look at those demographics, the conclusion is undeniable. This is not a neat little app upgrade you download from an app store. It is the fundamental infrastructure of human communication being rebuilt from the ground up. It touches every single person on Earth who owns a mobile phone.
So if the average consumer wins in this scenario, and the AI companies win by becoming the new operating system of our lives, who loses?
That's the big question.
We are talking about massive telecom corporations, right? Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile companies, who have essentially dictated the terms of our mobile lives for decades. What does this do to them?
Well, to understand the business implications, we have to look at why the phone call hasn't been fixed until now. For decades, those major carriers and their massive network of downstream partners have completely controlled the ecosystem.
Yeah.
But their business model is built around selling bulk access to the network. They charge for data plans, they charge for business lines, and crucially, they make money off the sheer volume of calls routed through their infrastructure.
Oh, so they actually have a financial disincentive to solve the robocall problem at the root, because those automated dialers blasting out millions of calls a day are, on some level, paying customers generating traffic on the network.
Precisely. They offer spam filtering as a token gesture, but it relies on known block lists, which spammers easily bypass by spoofing new numbers.
Right, just a game of whack-a-mole.
Exactly. The carriers have never had a true financial incentive to fundamentally fix the software experience of the call itself. The experience of using a phone is largely whatever the carrier decided it was in the late 90s.
But the AI layer doesn't need the carrier's permission. It sits completely on top of that traditional infrastructure.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is an over-the-top service, much like how iMessage or WhatsApp bypass traditional text messaging.
Oh, right.
The AI layer intercepts, processes, manages, and prioritizes the audio data regardless of which physical cell tower your phone is pulling a signal from. It completely strips the carrier of their control over the user interface.
Okay, so it is essentially like the carriers just become the asphalt on the highway. And the AI is this incredibly advanced self-driving car zooming over it.
That's a great analogy.
The asphalt is necessary to get from point A to point B, sure, but it is not the intelligent part of the journey. The network just becomes a dumb pipe.
Dumb pipe is the exact industry term, actually, and it is the absolute nightmare scenario for any telecom executive. Decoupling the phone experience from the carrier experience is a seismic shift in the balance of power. For 30 years, the carrier was the ultimate gatekeeper. Now, the intelligence lives entirely in the software, and the carrier is reduced to a simple utility provider.
Wow.
It makes them no different than the company that pipes water to your house. You care very much about the purity of the water, and you might spend hundreds of dollars on a smart, touchless faucet for your kitchen. But you rarely think about the copper pipe buried in your yard.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
The telecom giants are about to become the copper pipe.
It is wild to think about an industry that massive, with that much lobbying power and historic dominance, being humbled so completely by a software layer.
It really is.
And bringing this all full circle back to the beginning of our deep dive, it is just remarkable how this massive disruption arrived. It didn't come with a giant staged keynote presentation in a multi-million-dollar auditorium.
No, not at all.
There was no countdown timer on a slick website. There was no press embargo carefully managed by PR teams trying to control the narrative.
And, you know, it is often how the most profound changes enter our daily lives. Not with a coordinated corporate shout, but with a whisper. A cryptic image of the moon and a reference to a Carly Rae Jepsen song.
And for you listening right now, whether you followed the daily updates from Silicon Valley or completely ignore the tech world, your day-to-day life is about to get significantly quieter.
Absolutely.
Your phone is finally going to stop being a source of constant, unfiltered interruption and start acting like the intelligent, protective tool it was always supposed to be.
It is an undeniable upgrade in our day-to-day quality of life. But as we look at this transition, it raises an important question that builds on the mechanics we've discussed today.
Okay, what's that?
We are looking at a near future where this AI phone stack becomes universally adopted by default. And if my AI assistant is intercepting my calls and proactively making routine calls on my behalf to handle my schedule, it is statistically inevitable that my AI assistant will frequently end up calling a business's AI assistant.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even considered the collision there. Your AI calling a local restaurant's AI to book a corner table, or calling the mechanic's AI to schedule a brake repair.
Just AI talking to AI, exchanging data packets instantly to bypass the friction of a human phone call. But if that becomes the default standard for how we coordinate the mundane logistics of our lives, what happens to the serendipity of human interaction?
That's a good point.
We so often complain about transactional phone calls, waiting on hold, dealing with a grumpy receptionist, but they are also moments of spontaneous connection.
It's a strange trade-off. We finally get rid of all the noise and the spam, but we might just sanitize the serendipity right out of our lives.
Right. Do we lose the accidental, warm, human moments? Do we lose the nuance of tone of voice, like the slight hesitation that tells you a business is actually overbooked and stressed, or the friendly banter with a front desk clerk that unexpectedly brightens your morning? If we use software to ruthlessly optimize away all the friction of communication, we might also be optimizing away a subtle but essential layer of human texture in our daily routines.
We gain absolute efficiency, but lose the texture of actually talking to our neighbors. Something to seriously think about the next time your phone rings and you have to decide whether to pick it up or let the machine handle it. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep questioning the tools you use every day, keep digging deeper into the why behind the technology, and as always, stay curious. We will catch you on the next one.